the barrack buffs are going to change much, and I'm guessing Vora is now playable in scrims, because usually that kind of the players line that timing up with when she's released into ranked. Raw ban as well. Raw ban as well is pretty standard, I would say. Something that you just don't really want to deal with, and we saw Skinboostforthrow been on quite a clinic with that character yesterday. So a reasonable character to ban out. The Torvald in return, so that does leave Zin open, that leaves things like Shar open, that leaves Janos Korv open, that leaves a lot of things open. I do feel like you've gotten rid of 4 of pretty top tier characters. We see Barrack actually hovered, so maybe the 400 HP increase has done something for him. I'll be surprised. If they do pick Barrack here, I would guess it would more be to, see how he's doing. I don't think he is any better than he was before. So, I'm guessing they're just trying to see how it goes. Obviously, at the end of the day, that's what scrims are for. Practicing out strats and characters and seeing if they're viable in more competitive environment than just ranked casuals. Terminus Tiberius hovered for Crescent. Interesting. I think Tiberius is quite strong on this map. Maybe they might want to take the Corvus away from the enemy team first, because I spoke about this yesterday. Corvus Janus is quite an annoying combo to deal with. It's not really as good as it was when it came out and everyone was praising it, but it is still pretty strong. Doesn't seem like they're actually too confident in what they want to pick here. They go from hovering the Term to the Khan. I feel like Term is just a much better idea here, to be honest. Just got much better survivability, controls large areas of the map quite well with his Siphon. Currently, they have no way of breaking that Siphon, and they are going to go with and Damba. Damba's quite good, especially in combination with that Terminus, that Swift Spirits card that you can run in a loadout, giving him extra movement speed, allowing him to run people down quite effectively, is pretty nice. Digni's picked up that Khan, which does give them some avenue of breaking through that Siphon, and they don't just have to wait for it to stop being up and run out of charge. They might be able to deal with that Term more effectively, but as soon as that Term gets some sort of resilience online, or if Khan doesn't go with a stun talent, it's not going to do too much. Oh, wow. I haven't seen a Maeve played in a long time. I guess I'm not going to see it today either. They do pick that Tiberius up. And the Vora hovered. You see, Vora, I think, is another character that is definitely in like a trial stage right now. Like, I don't know. I don't think she's broken. I don't think she's bad. I don't think she's really balanced either. I don't really know anything about her at all, to be honest. So it'd be nice to see her picked up in at least one of these games. Win this game. I don't know if I'm going to do the second one. Just to see how she kind of compares to some of the other characters in the meta at the moment. And Knesset is also hovered, which isn't going to have too much pressure put on them, because currently they have a Khan barrack. Don't really have too much to push straight through to the back line. So you're going to have to rely on that single flank, or maybe even an Atlas 3 tank with a solo Genos healer hovered here for Skinboostforthrow. It's definitely interesting. It might work out, I'm not sure. But I think at this point it's a bit too late to kind of put enough pressure on the Strix for it to make much of a difference. Like, if they pick an Andro now, he's going to have to dive into a Damba, a Strix, a Vora, and a Zin, and going to be hard pressed to come out on top of that and a victory. Instead, I think maybe going with a Charlene to maybe try and poke that Strix off the angle as much as possible, in combination with the spam from the Tiberius. Maybe some long range shots from even a Maeve would do quite well. Maeve does also have the option of flexing into actually flanking, but does have quite considerable poke as well, so it would work out either way. I feel like either of the things Ojali just hovered would be quite effective. I think they've realised as well that their kind of options of putting lots of pressure on the Strix by going into his face are gone with these tank picks. Unless that Khan can get extremely aggressive, and we know Ojali is quite good at tanks, so surprised if he is piloting that Khan. It does look like no. Yes, we finally get the swap, so originally level 103 con. Kind of impressive. Not quite 104 that I've got on the car, but you know, almost there, almost there. Keep trying and you'll get there. I mean, he definitely is going to be playing quite aggressive if he wants to. I feel like there are other tanks that will be much better at that. Haven't been picked up in this game, so you know, I don't feel like they went for a bad pick here. Even Tiberius can put enough spam onto those tricks to kind of force him off a lot of the angles. So I don't know actually. I don't really feel like either team have a clear-cut draft win or loss, especially with the kind of the unknown of this Barrack and the unknown of this Vora. Like I haven't really seen them play too much, so I don't know how they're going to perform, especially with the new changes to Barrack and having not seen Vora played in a competitive environment. It'll be interesting to see how this game turns out, as opposed to yesterday, where I feel like the drafts were a little bit more one-sided. In terms of how they were playing them. So yeah, I feel like this is going to be a nice, good, even, interesting, competitive game. Depending, of course, on whether Vora is broken or whether Barracks, you know, somehow busted with extra 400 health, which I very much doubt, but we'll find out surely. I am tired. Oh, why? Oh yeah, because I had an awful sleep last night, that would probably explain. Getting into this game now, I'm wondering what Barrack's going to go with the talent, because it's kind of very up in the air what Barrack can go. They sometimes go Fortify, they sometimes go with... What's the other one? Oh yeah, with not Tinkering. Architectonics. I think it is going to be Fortify. I think that's the one that people have kind of concluded is the better at the moment. It does look like it's going to be a Storm of Bullets Khan, which is kind of what I've been seeing Khans pick up ever since they reduced the stun on the stun talent. Everything else is looking very, very much normal, apart from this Relentless Presence on Vora. It's definitely the more fun talent, I'll give you that, but I don't know if it is the better one. I feel on Stone Keep actually it could work quite well, just because of the vertical mobility and how high the buildings are. They'll give you a lot of nice places to bounce off. I feel like either of the other talents might do a little bit of a better job. Quite sure though, she does have the healing, at least early game, to 1v1 this Khan out. Comes in with a right click and finds Trex really early on in this game. Khan looks like he's going to follow. He has no cooldowns available, but it is Noise Overlord actually taking both those kills away from this flank. But, you know, it's not as important as like any other game. Like everyone's still going to get credits relatively evenly. So kill steals aren't too much of an important factor, but they're going to turn around and fight this Maeve who just killed Strix in the backline, but that does mean that they haven't really got up much of an aggressive zone. So everyone from Skinboostforthrow is going to be able to get back within touching distance of the point very, very quickly. Yeah, see, look at that. So many high buildings. I do feel like this is possibly one of Vora's best maps, just because of the vertical mobility. Sneezy, though, does go down very early on to the spam from Trex. And Top Sugar find another kill onto Noise Overlord as death with only one for the trade. And we're just looking at this Vora now, trying to put some pressure off him. Aldambo, it's not going to happen. Now they just need to get out of there alive. That point is going to go to Skinboostforthrow. There isn't really anyone in range to touch. Vora might be able to if she goes quickly, but oh my god, she actually made it. I felt like that timer definitely ticked over, but they actually get the touch. Nobody finds the retouch though, so it was all for naught. All wasted for pretty much nothing other than style points, but to be fair, I will give you those. Nice attempt from you there, but it didn't really result in too much. Trex finding a double kill, Ghost and Sleazy go down. Not looking too good for Crescent right now, this Vora. You know, she charged her ult very quickly. Does only have 50% up on his reanimate. Really not looking too good for them. And needs that if he's going to be able to defend at this point effectively. Fight comes through onto somebody, but it doesn't find a kill. I think he's playing Guillotine, so maybe... He missed. I think he actually missed. I wonder if he got 30% back. We actually seen the tab, but he comes back alive. But you know, after that ult went through, he actually died for it. And see, this is what I'm talking about. The long-range poke from Maeve and Trex. coming through to take the Strix down before he can really hold he can't really hold in the angles. Before it goes down right after Top Shagger with the spray outside of spawn. I rate it. A little bit of friendly BMs in, goes down before you can use pretty much any of his cooldowns. Top Shagger, I mean, you just sprayed in their spawn, right? Surely you have the map awareness to know that there's a terminus grip above you. Turn around, mate. Not turn around, look up. Can't spray and then not know that there's a giant rock floating above your head. But they do push that in. Despite that, I wouldn't say it was even a misstep, despite that little incident. And they still have pretty much all ults available. I can't say the same for Crescent, though they haven't managed to charge up Reanimate at all. Despite, I think he did miss, because he's got 51%, and it's not really like he had long enough to charge 50% in that time, I don't think. Unless he was hitting like crazy shots through like multiple people at once, but I think he did miss. Flashbang from Strix isn't going to do too much. The only real pressure they have early on is going to be Sphere from Damba, so hopefully he can find a few targets and they can be capitalised upon by the two flanks. Maybe with a well-placed headshot from the Strix to ease along that engagement a little bit. On the other side, they do have quite a lot available. Midnight, combined with the through time and space, can be quite deadly. The Midnight shows a little bit of discord towards the start, and they go for an ult on the right side of the map. Maybe it could turn out for them quite well. They have an overpower too. Lots of opportunities to get picks. Wars did come through for Crescent. I think somebody probably crashed again. This Strix doesn't seem to be in the game. Or maybe he is. Maybe it was Digny that crashed. I don't know. But Pause is coming through, so maybe that means everyone is here and ready to go. That spam is what can be lethal. Terminus has to put up his Siphon to avoid his teammates taking half the health to the bouncing chakrams from Tiberius. Midnight comes through, and this should be the signal for Skin Boost to go for some aggressive plays, and they are. Tiberius comes in with the ult trying to find some damage. The Genesis ult is way too low, missing pretty much everyone, and CZ finds first kill there. Traded out by Top Shagger though, so that Strix is not going to be able to put any more pressure onto the back line. Superstar finding Top Shagger after that, so they do go for a 2-for-1 trade, but the respawn's coming in, they need to do something else with it, and they do. Superstar finds DRG on the point, and that point pressure is now severely lacking. Ult comes out from Voro, I think, just to survive it all, but yeah, it's cancelled instantly, giving it back 70%. Man, that's quite a bit. He's going to be able to charge it back up in this fight. Reanimate is available, Spite's available, and they still have the flashbang, so they're looking quite good right now. Spite does find a target, but I don't think it did anything. Overpower also finds someone. They find... Who is that? I can't see. They find Ghost, so the support for Crescent is no longer available. Same could be said for Skinboostforthrow, but Top Shagger, please. Okay, there we go. Dome Shield comes down on point, and that Dominus is not looking too healthy. He goes down. Trex finds a double kill. Might be a triple kill. It is. Nice little highlight play for him. Term reanimated as well, so he could be able to find a quadra. But instead, he feeds the Siphon and makes Term survive that little bit longer. Digny finishing up the kill, and Ghost manages to touch the point again. But it's all for naught, really. They were just kind of going for that, you know, snowball play that we see on this game so much. Not snowball, sorry, waterfall play where everyone just had to touch the objective one after another, and it doesn't really gain them too much. Get a little bit of credits for contesting, but so does Skinboostforthrow, so at the end of the day, you don't really do very much with it. And Skinboostforthrow capture that point quite happily. Another pause come through. From Ghost, I'm guessing somebody... Oh, maybe someone crashed again, who knows? I haven't seen CZ with title, but I don't think he has a title because he did get a kill earlier, and it'd be quite embarrassing if you died to a bot Strix in a scrim. I think he's definitely here. I haven't spectated him, so I don't know what he's doing. I haven't seen him run to the point mindlessly, so I think everything's alright in that department. I'm just waiting to see what happens. Is looking quite low in front of Maeve, so yeah, I think he either just used his counter or he just started to put his counter up. Buzz comes through, so he just put his counter up and he might manage to live, but he doesn't have any healing. He baits out the shots from Maeve and gets back around the corner, so he lives. Trex finds Superstar in the back thing, sees it. Yeah, he's definitely here. He finds another kill onto Maeve, alleviating some of the pressure from him. The Tiberius is the main person doing the long range damage, though. Spite finally finds someone, takes down Ojali on that Khan. And they managed to buy themselves a little bit of space. Traded back very, very quickly by Trex. He finds two, goes down to Superstar again. You know, it's kind of even right now. Go on the defense, but they've got a little bit of map control. And allowing the Strix to push up a little bit. He is in a pretty bad spot though. Maeve's going to push him, take him down. And as it's already pushed up over halfway, Crescent might need to utilise some ults for this defense. Skinboostforthrow, though, they do have some things they can say about that. They've got a midnight through time and space they could use onto a reanimating turn, but he doesn't even have it. If Dignity can find Strix, maybe with a through time and space, then this push will probably most likely go through. He gets hit by the Strix, but he's confident just to continue pushing the payload. He's, for some reason, not hiding away from the Strix, who can two-shot him. Which, you know, fair enough if he's confident enough to do that. They do get pushed away, though, Noise Overload finding, I think, what, the third kill of that fight? And Vora is going to have to ult to survive. 45 HP, uses it, and Trex finds that kill. I have no idea where from, from behind. So he uses that ult, kind of a bit of a waste, but as we saw earlier, they get around 60-70% back for that ult. Trex, for cancelling that ult without using it, Trex manages to get away. Yeah, see, 63% top. Shagger finds Isdith. Overpower finds the Terminus, throws them off the map. I don't know why he took so long to do that. Maybe he was scared of Terminus being able to shatter fall back on, but it's not going to be the case. CZ actually finds a really nice combination onto Trex to take him down, just ruining his stat line a little bit because unfortunately it's not going to do very much else.